Hello, it's Fancy. Welcome back to the channel. This is my not even second, this is the third time I'm recording this voiceover. Because other times it's just really noisy, and the last time it didn't even record. So yeah, here we are. Third time's a charm, I suppose. Anyways, the format for this video is different again from the previous one I uploaded. And the reason is because today, we'll be going through some older recordings of artworks I made before I got my new laptop. Meaning before I was able to use a proper screen recording software. So we're back to just some recorded time lapses for now. But anyway, the theme of this video, I guess you could say, is a bunch of artworks I made for some school projects that I don't think I would even post about otherwise if not for this video. Basically, this is my schoolworks archives of rushed art pieces. By the way, I really just want to get through this recording, so if there's any background noises of vehicles or roosters or anything, I did my best to edit that out. That's the best I can do. But yeah, anyway, we're starting out strong with this comic strip that I made for a project in our subject called personal development. I actually forgot the entire premise of this project and whether or not we were given guide questions, but oh well. I think it's quite self-explanatory that this is a comic about personal development. I mainly use my persona here because of course I had to. It's personal development and it's my persona. I remember, funnily enough, I remember being in our work immersion assigned office. Since we did work immersion around the time I sketched this out, and I remember doing the sketch for the first panel on the back of some random grocery receipt. Yup. Look, I didn't have any paper with me that day, okay? And the receipt served me well. I was able to draw on it, at least the first panel. Anyways, I did all the sketching and inks and line art for this traditionally on paper, took photos of them, and then imported them to format digitally onto Krita. I think I remember trying to ink this all digitally, but I take forever to do that and I am a lot faster inking on paper, plus added the crunch time for submitting this project, so I just did everything on paper and imported it digitally just to save time. Trust me, I'm a lot faster inking traditionally. And I also remember the colors. I did not color it neatly like I would usually do, like filling everything in with the fill bucket tool and making everything neat, not going over the lines. For this one, I think I was either going for a very messy art style or that's just my excuse for crunching on this project. I was really crunching on time for this one. So basically, this is all just coloring. I don't even remember if I did any shading or not, but I probably didn't. I'm not looking at the comic as I'm recording this, so I do not know. But I do know that I didn't do my typical style of coloring in the lines for this one. Usually I'd manually color in the line art based on the base color underneath it. So if one part of the artwork is green, for example, then its line art will be a darker green or something similar, just to kind of highlight that green part. But for this one, I just colored everything in with one single color for the line art. And if memory serves me right, it was a reddish brown that I used, I think. But yeah, there's not much else to say anymore for this comic. But look at my penguin! Of course I had to include my penguin there, he is so cute. But yeah, moving on from this comic and now on to the next piece. Alright, these next two pieces are just very rushed projects. I mean, the comic was also rushed, but these two aren't even interesting enough on their own to have their own video. So I figured I might as well just add them here. This one is of a flower and some water. I don't even remember if that's intended to be running or still water anymore. There is not any more interesting way to explain this. But yeah, this was a symbolism through digital art project for a subject called, wait for it, Religious Education, Apologetics. I am not a very religious person, even though I went to a Catholic school that teaches these things. But well, they wanted symbolism, and so I made a flower. Can't get any better than that. I think my explanation for this involved the water being a symbol of the transformative nature of the gospel, or something along those lines. I do not know, I forgot. I just know I made a 5-sentence explanation for this and submitted it onto the Google form. Yeah. Everyone was pretty much using AI to create their quote-unquote artworks for this one. In fact, even the example our own teacher gave for this assignment project thing was also AI generated. Very obviously AI generated. But I refused to do that. Absolutely refused. Even though I knew it would save me a bunch of time. Just the thought of it, it makes my stomach churn. But anyways, that's it for whatever this is. You know, one thing I can actually point out about this particular artwork is that I do like the lineless art style I went with this. I'm not sure if it leans towards the painterly style, but I really do like, using different brushes and not doing line art for this. I usually do a lot of cartoons with line art and cell shading and all of that, so this was a nice change of pace even though it was really rushed, honestly. Then again, I think I was rushing this just to get it out of the way since I don't like the subject. But yeah, I like the art style I made for this. It's kind of flat looking, to be honest. It's still quite a cute flower on water with some lily pads. It doesn't get much better than that. And I also really like the water since I pulled up a random tutorial from Pinterest on how to paint the water digitally. So I like it. I like the attempt that I made at least. Yeah. Alright, we're on to the last one. Let me give you guys a second to guess the subject this was for based on the sketch. I'll give you a second. Did you get it? It's for philosophy. This one was tackling the dualism of the body and the soul. I got lazy with this one, honestly, since I was also rushing this. I mean, what is schoolwork if it's not rushed, right? I remember making this at the same time as Bite the Penguin, who was also born from another school project, except that one I actually liked. You can watch that video too if you like. I'll have it up in the cards somewhere. Anyways, I had a couple of ideas for this one, but ended up with this dual silhouette of a person and some gears. I'm not looking at the artwork right now either, so forgive me if my description ends up being way off. But yeah, I totally forgot the explanation for this one, if there even was one. Or if I simply submitted it to the teacher for him to interpret it himself. I mean, this is philosophy, after all. In terms of the art anyways, I was going for some smoky or cloud-like effects with some of the elements for this. I'm not sure if I managed to do that well enough though. Again, rushed. I like this format though. I might make an illustration following this kind of layout in the future, once the opportunity calls for it. Except I may be leaning onto creating the silhouettes kind of facing away from each other, like back to back, something like that. I don't know, that's for future me to figure out. But yeah, there's not much to talk about this other than I think I used actual photos of gears to incorporate into this piece. Oh well, is that considered photo bashing? I do not know. This is quite a random video to upload, I will admit, and I'm just really rushing to get this out of the way. And also, I live next to a highway and these vehicles have been driving by very fast and very loudly. If you can tell in the recording, I did my best to edit those out. I'm tired. Y'all, I'm tired. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to get this video out of the way. But now that it is done, it gives me a bit more time to make some other artworks of things that I actually want to make artworks of, that aren't school related. So yeah, I'll be making some more art and videos with a few ones already in the works as of now. Still really excited to get back to drawing, and I'm hoping I'll spend these few months of vacation without having to worry about doing any school related artworks for a while. College is right around the corner, haunting me every single day, but at least I get to make some art for now. With that said, thank you so much for watching and bearing with me for this very random, rushed video. I mean, the video wasn't rushed, but I'm rushing to get it done and out of the way since I don't really feel too excited about these artworks. But hey, that's part of the school life as an artist. You will draw some school related things eventually for, grades. But yeah, now that this is out of the way, thank you so much for bearing with me through this. And if you're just like me and you've just graduated and maybe you're heading off into college in a few months, I hope school doesn't haunt us too badly as college approaches. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will take a break and drink some water, and I hope you all have a great day.